All right. Well, welcome to the latest edition of Overdose and Chill. I'm here with Matt Porter from KOKATAT, and we are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So say hello, Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
Very good. Good to see you. So maybe a little bit of backstory is, we've been working together for a number of years across a few different companies, at least on my side. But really excited to have you here, and thanks for joining us for the session today. And yeah, I'm sure that the listeners out there are interested in hearing about Kokatat and the work we've done together over the past long time.
Yeah, it's a fun talk
Yep.
today.
Cool. So, maybe just to get started, maybe give us an introduction and what your role is at Kokatat, and how long you've been there, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm the product manager and the website manager for KOKATAT. I've been here since 2005, so I think that's 16 years. We're going on 16 years. And yeah, about all of that time I've been based at the factory in Arcata, California. So.
Yeah, and the thing that I really like about Arcata is that it's hard to get to. Having been down there a number of times over the years, it like I've flown into Medford and I've driven down, which is a cool drive. I've flown into I think it's Crescent City, which where the airplanes are called Con Air, and they share planes with the Pelican Bay Supermax Penitentiary,
Yeah.
right? And then you drive down from there. And I know that there's an airport, like in Eureka, but I've never actually flown into that, only because it doesn't match up with my Delta status.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as hard to get out of as it is to get into. So it's about driving's the way you do it is driving in and out is probably the most reliable. But that is changing. We're getting a lot. It seems like over the last year we've got a lot more flight access into the local airport. So there's a
Mhm.
more directs.
Yeah, but even with the airport, I think you've told me in the past that they use it, or in World War II maybe they used it for like bad weather training.
Yeah, I think it was used for instrument training because
Okay.
of it's basically on a bluff above the beach, which is sucks in a lot of fog, being it, you know,
Hmm.
surrounded by a redwood forest. So it's usually pretty foggy.
Yeah. Yeah, easy to get diverted. But it seems like I feel like that Arcata keeps a little bit of charm, because of that. You get there and it's kind of a special place.
Yeah, I would definitely agree to that. Yeah.
Well, cool. So maybe tell me. Let's start with a little bit about who Kokatat is, and the products you guys make, and who your customers are, and you can start from there.
Sure. Yeah. So Kokatat's primarily we build kayaking, rafting, clothing, and apparel for for sea kayaking, whitewater kayaking, rafting, pack rafting, kayak fishing. We also do products for search and rescue, um, fire departments. We do some stuff for the Coast Guard and other governmental organizations, and we manufacture that most of that product in Arcata at our facility, and that includes dry suits, dry tops, splash jackets. We also make life jackets, insulation to go under the dry wear, and then footwear, gloves, all the other stuff you need to basically be comfortable while you're on the water, when it's not swimsuit weather. So.
Mhm. And I mean, you guys have one of the few like Gore immersion certified manufacturers in the U.S. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. There's a few others, but we're the only ones doing paddle sports stuff, Gore-Tex in the U.S. And we've been doing that since the late '80s. We were founded in 1971. and we were one of Gore-Tex's first accounts. We were originally making bivy sacks and sleeping bags in the 70s, and then we transitioned into kayaking specific stuff.
Yep. And then a part of that manufacturing, a lot of the plant, there's a large solar facility.
Yeah, which we're actually taking off the roof right now to fix the leaks in the roof. But we're one of the larger solar installations, or we were up till a few years ago. But we're still one of the largest private solar installations in the county. The solar panel system we've got on the roof, it powers most of the sewing floor, and it powers our lights and computers. It doesn't pick up some of like our higher voltage draws, like the seam sealing machines pull a lot of juice out, but the solar is doing a significant percentage of our overall electric bill. So, and it's connected to the grid, so we're feeding into the grid. We don't at this time, we don't have like a battery bank system set up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely the trips down there. It's neat to see, the domestically made, high quality products, and then when you walk through the factory floors, there's also, a lot of pride across the folks doing all the work, because they're making really cool products as in Arcata.
Yeah, it's a cool place.
So so we talked a little bit about the sports, but who's kind of the typical KOKATAT customer? I mean, there's kind of a gamut of a lot of different sports, but is it mainly for cold water? But maybe tell me a little bit more about who that typical person that purchases from you guys.
Sure. Yeah, and you're right. It's very dependent. Like the age demographics are very dependent on like what actual discipline you're looking at. Like a whitewater kayaker usually trends, younger than sea kayakers do. So it's a pretty wide range of people who are our customers, and we have a range of products for all the seasons. So I mean, we're definitely best known for our dry suits. That's kind of our claim to fame, but we're also well known for our life jackets, and those aren't dependent on how cold the water is. You need those all the time. So but yeah, it's a pretty wide swath. Like on our analytics page, it's kind of like our biggest percentage is the 20 to 34 year olds, in the high 20%, but then like everyone 35 to 65 is all in the 15, 16, 17% range also. So it's kind of evenly spaced as far as those age ranges. And then, before the like teens to early 20s is less, and then 65 plus is less, but there's still, we still have like a 10% percentage at our 65 plus. So
yeah, and it's wild to me to see that gamut of customer, because like you said, on the sea kayaking side, maybe a little bit older, but on like the whitewater side, you guys have a number of Red Bull athletes that are on the athlete team, and they're doing pretty like first descents and remote places, and big hits, and and those types of activities as well.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think we're supporting like the leading edge of the sport right now as far as the whitewater community. It's like the people that are paddling in our stuff are pushing the envelope the most on, like, especially the expedition kayaking side of whitewater, and also like some of the biggest expeditions like sea kayaking and expedition kayaking are coming to us also for that. But that doesn't catch you see those guys more on like the Banff Film Festival, and left like Red Bull's not picking up the guy who's doing the
Yeah.
circumnavigation of this island for the first time.
Right. Yeah. And and those, I mean, those types of trips, I mean, folks are they're out there hanging it out on the edge. I mean, whether big first descents are kind of one thing, but like remote cold water paddling, especially in rough water, is kind of next level as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as far as what they need from our product, I think it's very similar. They need something that when they pull it out, when they put it on for the first time, it's dry and comfortable to use, but also after a month of abusing it, it's still dry and comfortable to use. I mean, really, our product is we're it's supposed to be there and they don't have to think about it. Like, it's keeping them safe so they can do what they need to do. And I mean, that's what makes it appealing to the weekend guy too. I mean, he doesn't want to go freeze his butt off on the local river run, or like if you go, paddling in Puget Sound, don't want to have the Coast Guard come rescue you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Because cold water is unforgiving. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So, when we think about like the e-commerce business for KOKATAT, um, the marketing channels obviously kind of are sometimes very specific to a brand. Um, you guys rely a lot on organic, and then the athlete team is also a big component about how you're building content for, but then also using them as a tool to drive folks to the site, kind of like an influencer referral mentality. But maybe speak a little bit about the effort you guys put into the athlete team and building products for them, and then also how you use them to kind of help drive traffic to the website.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, we're very lucky with the team we've got. We use them extensively. Like, as the product manager, we use them extensively on the product development side of of our business, but also on the marketing side. So we're using them to test products that are in development, to continue to test products that are in production for continual improvement, and then we're also using them to capture and provide media content for the website, for our email campaigns, for our social media. I mean, it brings the site alive when people can see it out in the world getting used, and that's really I feel like the site's very content rich, and we put a lot of effort into getting the content, but also making sure that it's updated, so that it's not a static website that we're that keeps being fresh. So there's reasons to come back to the site, and we try to have our social so that it draws people back into the site for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And it's there in kind of today's world, you see a lot of folks buying their traffic through paid media, and that can obviously create a lot of top funnel activities. But I think that at least for me, the interesting part of using an athlete team that's so tightly woven into the brand is that you really get that sense of authenticity, and then also the content that's created. It's just really engaging, and it's part of it is probably because people are in faraway places doing amazing activities, but I think also part of it is that there's definitely a human element that comes through, and that it's not just hitting the biggest drop or the hardest thing that can be done, but also about kind of the idea of having to kind of live through that on a day to day, and kind of what that's like from a human standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's we have a really good team, and then a really good marketing team that helps that message get out through our website to promote our product, but also to promote those athletes. I think we have a good partnership where we help them promote themselves, and the sport. and vice versa. So.
Yeah. You may be shifting gears a little bit, but how has COVID affected KOKATAT?
It was rough. I mean, it continues to be rough. We had to shut the plant down for when it kicked off. We had to shut the plant down for almost 2 months before we came back to full staffing. And during that down period, we had to rearrange the factory floor so that we could safely bring people back to work. They would be distanced enough, and we improved ventilation systems so that we could operate safely and start building product again. And unfortunately, the combination of being down and then supply chain issues with raw materials, we're kind of still digging out of that backlog of orders and need. So it was a huge, hugely impacted us. Like it seems like it did most of that, especially the outdoor industry, but all industries really.
Yeah. Are you starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel where things are getting better, or are you still kind of like firmly in the trenches?
We are seeing, we are getting improvements. Like we've chipped away at our backlog, and we're starting to, now we've got, preseason bookings on the wholesale side, for that we're building against for the end, for next year. And we think we'll be in the position where we'll have stuff on the shelf again in January. So
yeah,
and we've
go for it.
Sorry, we've kind of made the conscious decision to make sure we're getting our products out to our dealer base to support them, and that has that we've basically, we purposely not put product on the website. Instead, we've been sending it to our dealer base so that they have product to sell. So
yeah, and I know that the dealer base has always been something really important to KOKATAT, because many of them are independent paddle sports dealers around the country, world, but also those folks are they are kind of the local culture centers for paddling and their geography.
Yeah, and most paddling disciplines, there's a steep learning curve, and you need instructors, local shops that offer instruction, rentals, and classes like on site, or people aren't going to get into the sport. And there's just, especially with sizing and other technical stuff, that's very technical product, and you need to go, a lot of times you need to go in and look at it, so
yeah, and not to mention the idea of paddling itself can be a hard learning curve, especially in cold water. If you're learning to roll or swimming a lot, or figuring out rough water, those are all places that it's no pun intended, but it's sink or swim, right? There's not a very easy way that you can get into it without having instruction or guiding or some of those other activities.
Yeah. I mean, they're great. It's a great sport to pick up, but it's there's a lot to learn. You can learn it quickly, but there's a lot to learn right off the bat. I mean, it's not mountain biking where you can jump on a mountain bike because you know how to ride a bike and do some laps on the easy stuff all of a sudden.
Yeah, you can't stop.
Right.
I mean, if you're on a river, you're still on the river.
You're still on the river. If you've stopped and you're still on the river and you didn't mean to, there's something bad going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's the same thing if you're in the ocean. Like if you're in currents or surf or what have you. I mean, the water doesn't stop moving. Having long time ago paddling a little bit, that was always kind of my experience with it, is that you're always on. Whereas, a lot of land-based activities, if you get freaked out or if you need a moment to collect yourself, you can just stop and you can take a breath and you can get going again. And you can, kind of like get through tough situations that way. But in paddling, it's, yeah, you don't really have that luxury in many ways.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. So, so KOKATAT, I think, operates a pretty small marketing team, for the volume of work that you guys are putting out. So, maybe tell me about, who was on, the roles on the marketing team, and and how you guys are creating work, and what that looks like for how the sausage gets made.
Sure. So we've got five members total. Jeff Turner's our he's the sales and marketing director, so he's at the top, and manages the whole thing. Then we've got two people, Lisa and Shannon, that are kind of managing a lot of the content, as far as getting content, and then deciding what content's going to be on the site and on our social media stuff. Lisa's our PR and promotions manager, and then Shannon's our brand manager. And they kind of team up to, collect the content and produce it, and then works with Josh, our web administrator, to make sure that that gets out how it needs to get out onto all of our social and to the website.
Mm-hmm.
And then Josh is our web and admin guy, and he manages the admin of the site mostly. I dabble in it some, but he's really the guy doing it day to day and making sure everything runs correctly. So, and I kind of support him in that role, and then I'm also deal with the sales, the kind of the communication between the sales team and the marketing team, and then just making sure the overall plan of at least the website side of the marketing is in line with our overall marketing strategy and runs through. So yeah, it's a pretty compact team, and I feel like we're pushing a lot of work through them, but it's efficient.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the teams work together for a number of years, which probably helps with that efficiency. But it is impressive, the volume of content and work that you guys put out through a small team like that. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So kind of looking forward now, what do you see, kind of like the next round of successes from KOKATAT on the e-commerce side, and then where do you think you're going to have challenges?
I mean, really the next successes is hopefully in Q1 we can get back order, the ability to back order product again, like we were previously. Before the pandemic, we were not just selling inline product, but we'd also let people purchase product that would be back ordered for up to 15 days and then ship out. Hopefully we can get back to that, especially on like our dry suits, dry top, and life jacket stuff. And then hopefully we'll also get to turn our custom suit program back on, which is really popular and has definitely been missed on the consumer side. Not just from purchasing for us, but a lot of our dealer base also uses that as a tool to build suits that they'll order for customers. But it's a great tool for people to able to get the right size they need for a dry suit, but also if they want to do any kind of customization, as color customization or adding pockets or stuff like that, that's where they can build it, see what it's going to look like, and order it, or take that to a dealer so they can order it through the dealer.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it is a pretty slick tool where you can go onto the site and I think some of the suits have over 100 different combinations and options that you can select between colors of uppers and pockets, and sleeve color versus pant color, and then also different boot types, neoprene or fabric, and some have gaskets, some don't. Drop seats. There's a lot of complexity that to put together the suits, not to mention custom sizing, and then pricing differences based on the features that you're selecting.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on there, but I think the way you guys built it for us made it. I mean, it seems like a pretty streamlined and user friendly system, and them being able to actually see it, especially the color combination stuff, has really helped. I think get people through that purchase funnel because they can actually okay, I went through this color thing. This thing looks awesome. Then it sends you through the sizing, and that's I mean, a lot of time with our customer service is taken up by does this suit fit me? And that's kind of a more unique thing with a dry suit because it's a one-piece system, and it's not like, I mean, how many people are like, well, I'm a medium on the top, but I'm a large on the bottom, or the other way around. But you've got to fit that in. You've got to fit it in one system. So getting people into the right width suit as a base size, and then adjusting it lengthwise so it fits them is very important. Especially like when you're when you're wearing the product, most of the time you're in a seated position, which really stretches out the torso length and inseam of a garment. So accommodating that can be really complicated when you're not like the ideal medium or large size, so.
Yeah, not to mention having wrist and neck gaskets that's can restrict movement as well.
And attached socks. So what size are your shoes? Yeah, all that stuff. That, but I think that the sizing module, there's very clear instructions and everything, and it makes it a very user friendly to get to like, okay, I know this is going to fit me. I like what it looks like. I want to buy it. So
yeah, and and that tool has driven. Or how has that tool driven kind of engagement within the dealer base or online? I mean, now I see some of the suits having a number of different colorways available. You can create things that are really pretty and also pretty horrendous. But how without divulging specific numbers, how has that product helped with kind of customers purchasing custom suits?
It's doubled it. Yeah, I mean, the percentage of total sales, it's probably doubled it, which is great. It's great for the dealers that do it through the dealer base. I think it's because it's a really complete tool. It's helped especially some of the smaller dealers with sizing, where they wouldn't have the capacity or floor space maybe to stock a full size run of suits. But with the sizing tool, maybe they have an example of the suit or two suits. They have the big sizes for each men's and women's, and then but then with the sizing tool, they can be confident that they can get their customers in the correct size, especially if they bring them in, they do it in the shop. I mean, it's kind of the opposite of the website experience, but it's off of the website,
Yeah.
But you can really help someone through that purchase process, or they can go direct through the website if they don't have a dealer that they want to go through, and still be confident that they're getting what they need. So
Yeah. And so then recently, or maybe in the past few years, you guys have launched these service clubs, and and with any kind of Gore-Tex product, you're going to poke holes in it at some point. So how did those work? And and they're based on, I know they're based on a subscription service, but maybe tell us a little bit around how those have helped your customers kind of maintain their highly customized dry suits.
Sure. So yeah, we had Jeff's the one who thought up the system, but it's a subscription service for a discount on repairs, and we do a lot of, because our products last a long time. They need either checkups or periodic repairs. That might be something as easy as just like the gaskets, which are made out of latex. The wrist and neck gaskets, those have a shelf life on them, and after, depending on use and how you care for them, they're going to rip or degrade where you're going to need a replacement. So that's probably our most common thing, is just gasket replacement. And then if someone's having leaking issues, which is most often like pinhole leaks, which happens usually from trying to get to and from the body of water you're trying to go into, but it's like blackberry bushes, thorns, stickers, and but we offer, a fill, basically a leak test, fill test, and then a patching service is probably the second thing for what people send in their products for services. And the idea was to basically you could purchase the subscription. We did a gold and a platinum, 2 levels of the subscription, and it would give you a year of a discount on any service purchases. So when you're sending something in for service, which would be the gaskets, water tests, other services, or do-it-yourself stuff, like if you ordered a gasket replacement kit or a field repair kit or something like that from the website, you'd still get the discount on those. And then you get priority service when you send it in. So you get a quicker turnaround time than the regular turnaround time. And one of the club memberships, the platinum one, the higher one, you get free return shipping, ground shipping. And then you get a hat when you sign up also as part of that for both clubs. So
yeah, because I imagine within the repair service, probably similar to other sports, it's hard to get your skis tuned in early November. It's way better to take your skis and get them tuned in like September. They'll have them back to you really quickly then, but you wait till everybody else is in line, and then now you're in line with everyone else.
Yeah, and that's I forgot to say we do free water tests, which is kind of especially with a suit, is something people will do like every other year. Sometimes they'll send it in for a water test, but so the platinum gets 3 of those and the gold gets 2. But yeah, I think we did a marketing email too last season, which was at the end of winter, beginning of spring. We're like, okay, time to send your dry suits in for service. So
yeah, do it when the water is warm.
yeah, exactly. So the first cold day, you don't pull your suit out and your gaskets are rotted away.
Yep, yeah. And so how have the service programs grown, or how have they kind of been successful for KOKATAT over the last couple of years?
They've been very successful. It's a good percentage of our returns are coming back with club memberships, which is really cool. And then internally, it's allowed us to prioritize that. It also seems like people are, because they've got this discount, they're sending in their product better. We're getting stuff that's in better shape, that's more well cared for, because it is coming in for the periodic servicing. And with it's just their product's gonna last, their suits and their tops are gonna last them a longer time, which is great. It's they're getting way more out of their investment that way. So and a lot of these, depending on the use, these suits can last. I mean, we've got some that are over 10 years old that are totally fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Not that I haven't seen one that's 2 years old that's trash, but it's all on like how many times you're using it. But yeah, so
cool. Well, so what's next for KOKATAT? Where are you guys going? What's exciting?
I'm excited. Excited about getting stuff back on the shelves is the most immediate thing, but just continuing to innovate on the dry suit, the apparel stuff, the life jackets. We're excited about that. We've got some cool stuff coming out next year that I'm really excited about. and then just continuing to kind of push the envelope on comfort and durability on our dryware.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I know this is probably like picking a favorite child, but what's the one product that you're really excited about or that you're taking out with you when you're going boating?
I've been super happy with the Hustler, which is a few years old. It's our newest rescue life jacket. I really like that. We got it was kind of the perfect project where we got a lot of feedback from team members, and it's just super comfortable. It was nice to see that one evolve, from the concept of an old, like we pulled it kind of pulls at my nostalgia strings a little bit. We pulled out an old a retrofit life jacket, which was a long discontinued jacket. It was actually like one I was looking at pro dealing the first year I was a raft guide back in 1999, I think. And to kind of bring that back as the inspiration for that jacket, and then to develop off of that and to come back with what we've got now has been really cool. It's a super comfortable jacket. It's fun. It looks good. It's and that's what I'm paddling in constantly. And then to see it out on our team guys has been really cool too. On the race circuit, on YouTube, and all the expedition videos and stuff, and on the social stuff. It's been cool to and then this summer I was doing like an after work lap on our local run, and just met two random guys I hadn't paddled with at the put in, and them having no, both had the Hustler life jackets on, and, which was cool. Like, so
yeah. So some local pride. Two random guys show up wearing the product that's near and dear to you.
Yeah, and like it's pretty like we're kind of behind the redwood curtain. Everyone wears KOKATAT stuff. That's not but to have like out of town, they were people that were in town for some farm work that were from out of the area, and they were sporting it, so it was great.
Yeah, very cool. Well, Matt, really appreciate the time today. What anything I haven't asked that I should?
I don't think so.
Cool.
No, I think we're good. You didn't comment on my clutter back here, so I appreciate that. You've got your nice like painting behind you, and I've got a pile of old dry suits.
Yeah, I mean that's the nature of being a product developer, right? You have all the samples and ideas and prototypes that you've been working on for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and mine, I'm just trying to hide the giant white roll-up door since I get to work from my garage most days.
Nice. Well, you did a good job.
It was great to chat today, and we'll see you online.
All right. Always good talking to you. See you, Keith.
All right. See you, Matt.